What are some myths that people still have about buying a home in 2024? The first one is that you have to have a 20% down payment. That is not the case. That hasn't been the case in probably over 25 years. There are several loan programs out there that'll allow even down to 0% as a down payment, but we do have 3.5% and 5% down payment options. So do not think, oh, I don't have 20% down, I'm never going to be able to buy a house. You don't need 20% down to buy a house these days. The second myth is that the best deals are in the foreclosures. And I know where that comes from. When we had the foreclosure surge back in 2008, 2009, that was the thing, is these companies had so many houses they were foreclosing on, they were sticking them on the market, and they were taking whatever they could get for them because the people hadn't took care of the house, they didn't have the money to renovate the house, they were just trying to unload these assets. So that's where this whole the best deal is a foreclosure. That's not really the case anymore because probably 80 to 90% of the time, whatever bank has foreclosed on that house, they are going to go and they're going to look at this house and they're going to see, oh, so if we spend $10,000 to $15,000 fixing some of this stuff, we could actually make some money on this home. A lot of times, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA, they're going to have crews of people that they send in. They're going to do those things now, and they're going to make that money on that house. Whereas used to, they would sell it for bottom dollar. An investor would come in, buy the foreclosure, spend the money to fix it up, and make all the profit. That's not the case anymore. So it's very rare that you're going to find a foreclosed home that is going to be a true bargain. Myth number 3, it's cheaper to rent than to buy. So let's talk about, you have long-term benefits of owning a home. You're going to gain equity. You're going to be more financially stable buying a home. And here we actually have homes that you could purchase that are going to be less than the rent that's going around here. If you bought a $250,000 house, your principal and interest payment would be about $1,485 a month. And from what I'm hearing, $1,500 for a 3-bed, 2-bath house is not uncommon right now. At $225,000 house, your principal and interest payment would be $1,337 a month. And we currently have 25 homes in the Lakeway area that are available for less than $225,000. If you bought a $200,000 house, your principal and interest payment would be $1,188 a month. And that was based on what interest rates were yesterday, which is around 6.875. You can't really quote me on those monthly payments, but that just kind of gives you a rough estimate to be able to compare if you're looking at renting versus buying. If you're going to be paying $1,500 a month, wouldn't you rather it be going towards your mortgage rather than your landlord's mortgage? Myth number 4 is that the perfect home exists. It is so rare that someone walks into a house and says, oh, this is everything I've ever wanted. There's going to be several things about that house that stand out to a buyer and they say, oh, we absolutely love it. But there's also going to be some things they're going to tweak once they actually purchase that home. I think a lot of people get caught up in this whole, we want to keep looking, we've not found that perfect house yet. You're probably never going to find that perfect house. You have to be able to select what's important to you, find a home that has those features, and then make it into what you want it to be. The last one I'm going to share with you is that, oh, I don't need my own realtor. I can just go through the listing agent. That is going to be the biggest mistake you could ever make as a buyer, and I'm going to tell you why. When a seller hires a realtor, that realtor represents the seller. They represent the seller's best interest. And when you go through the listing agent on the buy side, you're really unrepresented because they can't represent the seller and represent you at the same time. Nobody is looking out for you and your best interest. So how is one agent supposed to negotiate and get the highest possible price for the seller as well as get you the best possible price as the buyer? It doesn't happen. The best thing you can do is hire your own agent. Hire a buyer's agent who is going to be looking out for you. They're looking out for your best interest. They're going to try and help you find the best possible home for your situation at the least expensive cost. Don't get caught up in, I don't need an agent, because it's going to cost you money in the long run if you don't have your own agent. What do you think? Do any of these myths apply to you as a buyer? Let me know your thoughts in the comment.